Nearly 4,000 employees from NASA have opted to leave the agency via DOGE's deferred resignation program. Basically, this is the program which allows you to leave voluntarily and you get some sort of like you get your pay to a certain date and so forth. And this is going to make up 20% of NASA's total workforce. And this is devastating, to put it lightly. We've kind of covered that this is going to be happening over I think last week, I want to say. And now we are officially here. It's official. Officially official, y'all. 4,000 employees have opted to leave the agency. Now, of course, this is going to have devastating consequences in the, mid to long term for sure. It's hard to say what we will see short term wise, but this is brain drain of our country in full force. Where do you think these 4,000 employees are going to go? Burger King? McDonald's? No. Maybe if you're lucky, and this isn't even necessarily a good thing, maybe they'll go to SpaceX. But these are people that will most likely, at least, the best of them are going to start going to other countries because that's kind of what we're incentivizing at this point. Now, of course, we have brain drain on the other side, where we are just getting rid of revoking student visas left and right, cracking down on some of our most elite universities from accepting foreign students. It's devastating, and this could have just unimaginable consequences in the long term because since the end of World War II, at least our country has been kind of a brain magnet. Like all the greatest minds from all over the world want to come here to study, to work, to contribute, etc. And we are just reversing that in full force. And yeah, okay. Anyways, article here. It's from NPR. Nearly 4,000 NASA employees have opted to leave the space agency through the Trump administration's deferred resignation program, NASA said on Saturday. The cuts amount to an estimated 20% of NASA's workforce and will reduce the agency from 18,000 to 14,000 employees. NASA spokesperson Cheryl Warner said in a statement shared with NPR the total number includes the agency's loss of 500 other workers due to normal attrition. During a second round of the program, which closed at midnight Friday, 3,000 employees applied to leave the agency, Warner said, following the 870 employees that applied to leave during the first round. The resignations followed the Trump administration's plan to reduce the federal workforce and implement cuts recommended by the Department of Government Efficiency. NPR has reached out to the White House for comment. It's unclear when the full reduction of the workforce will take effect, Warner said. NASA did not respond to NPR's questions about how the workforce cuts will affect the agency. The administration has also proposed decreasing NASA's budget. A fiscal year 2026 budget request released in May would reduce funding for the agency by 24%, nearly 25 billion to nearly from nearly 25 billion, to 19 billion. So we're cutting the workforce, we are cutting their budget, which if we were serious about science and actually taking a leading role in, taking back space, we would be taking that 40 billion that we gave to ICE, or that 150 billion that we are giving to the Pentagon, the military. We would have given that to NASA or something like that. Obviously, that wouldn't be my exact funding priority. I would want to fix our broken social safety net programs, our fucking broken healthcare system, stuff like that first. But if I'm to choose between NASA or ICE or the military, I'm sorry, but I'm picking NASA every single day of the week. Anyways, but the House and Senate are discussing recommendations that would keep funding for the agency around the current budget. Concerning funding beyond the next fiscal year, however, the agency recently got a boost, reversing earlier proposals to retire some NASA programs. Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act that was signed into law earlier this month allocates nearly $10 billion in additional funding for NASA through 2032, including backing for Mars missions and plans to return to the moon. So they are getting 10 billion in additional funding through 2032. I don't know if that's yearly or not, but it still sounds like with all the cuts and all that, it's like, okay, maybe you break even, but it's still, you're losing 20% of your workforce on top of that. So this still isn't like, oh, they're getting an additional 10 billion for this program. It's like, yeah, but they still lost a lot of their other funding and 20% of their employees. Like, this is something that should be expanding, not decreasing. The White House proposed budget cuts and changes at the agency have faced criticism from scientists and space organizations, including the Planetary Society, a nonprofit led by Bill Nye, the science guy. The Planetary Society believes that a great nation deserves a great space program, one that reflects our national ideals and serves the public interest. The organization said about the White House budget proposal in May, the proposal doesn't merely fall short, it actively rejects that promise, undermining the rare opportunity NASA provides to build unity at home and collaboration abroad through American leadership. On Monday, more than 300 current and former NASA employees signed and sent a letter known as the Voyager Declaration. We covered that to interim NASA Administrator Sean Duffy. Sean Duffy is the current Transportation Secretary. He is now doubling as the NASA Administrator for now, I suppose. Anyways, they sent him a letter. We covered this, and it was criticizing the rapid and wasteful changes at the agency, and they say include cuts to programs and research. They also urged Duffy to not implement the proposed cuts and said they are not in the best interest of NASA. So that's where we are right now. It's not looking good for NASA. So, and that's just sad because this is something that at the very least we should be keeping at current funding levels, but expanding. But of course not. The only expansions we can do within our government involves defense and now ICE. That's pretty much the best we get. And yeah, that's just our priorities right now. Fuck everything else, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Again, where do you think these people are going to go? I doubt they would want to go to SpaceX, like, because of the ties to Elon Musk, obviously. So where do you think these smart people are going to go? I'll leave that up to you. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.